What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my ranking for my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. So, this is part of a series I'm doing where I rank my 10 favorite movies of each year since I was born, and this week is the year 2023. So, I'm going to go ahead and get going. Coming in at number 10 is Champions. This is a little movie about a basketball coach that gets put on like community service, and he has to coach this basketball team of this group of adults who are mentally challenged, and it's just a really good movie, really good-hearted movie. It's got a big heart, and these adults they have like a Down syndrome and stuff, and just all the actors in here are just really lovable and everything. You can't help but love all of them, especially this one girl that stands out. I cannot remember the character's name, but she really stands out and everything. And it's just a really good heartfelt movie and everything. It is really cliched and predictable. You know exactly how this movie's gonna go and everything, except for a little bit of the third act. I feel like their big game and everything, the way that turned out, was not just realistic. It was it's still one of those movies that makes you just feel good by the end of it. It's a really good, feel-good sports movie and everything. It doesn't do all the typical cliches, but it does most of the cliches you'd expect from a sports movie, but it's still pretty good and everything. So Champions is number 10, and number 9 is Dungeons and Dragons: Honors Among Thieves. Now, I haven't seen this movie since it came out in the theater and everything, so my memory on this one is a little fuzzy, except I really loved it. Like, I had a huge blast seeing this with my brother in the theater and everything, and it was one of the most surprising times I had. I really liked this movie so much that I really wanted a sequel. I loved the characters, the humor was great in here. It mixed the humor perfectly with the action and comedy and everything. It's an action comedy and set in medieval times, and they pull off the humor perfectly, and it's just a really good time and everything. So Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is number 9, and number 8 is Scream 6. I absolutely love Scream 6. I think that it's one of the best movies in the franchise. Everything, but I think this is one of the strongest horror franchises where each entry is really good. Some are better than others, and I wouldn't say this is necessarily even the best entry in the franchise, but it was a really good one and everything. I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like that Sidney didn't come back, but I actually kind of did. It kind of showed me that Scream can stand on its own without Sidney and everything. I don't like some of the things they did with Gail's character. They kind of took her backwards instead of moving her forward, but for the most part I like this movie and everything. I don't have a lot of complaints with it and everything. So Scream 6 is number 8, and number 7 is Taylor Swift: The Eras Tour. Now, I usually don't put concert movies on my top 10 list, but I can't deny how freaking amazing Taylor Swift's Eras Tour concert movie was, and there are other versions of it on the different streaming services and stuff that I haven't seen yet. I've only seen the original theatrical version, but man, was it something to watch and everything. I wish I could have seen her in concert, but this was really the next best thing that I could do, since I couldn't afford to see her in concert and everything. Plus, she didn't come to Oklahoma City on her tour. I don't think. If she did, I apologize. I'm sure there's some Swiftie out there that will correct me on that and everything. I'm a huge Swiftie myself. I'm not the hugest Swiftie in the world and everything, but I am a big Swiftie. And I absolutely love her music, and watching her perform is just a ton of fun and everything. So I really enjoyed this movie. And this is also one of those concert movies that's just the concert, no behind the scenes making of or anything like that. And I like that. I like them actually making a concert movie that's just the concert and nothing else and everything. I have nothing against behind the scenes stuff in concert movies, but it does make the pacing go by faster when it's just the singer doing the music. And she does music from all of her albums and stuff in this tour, so it made it really worth it, and it felt like an event and everything. I wish I would have got to see it on the big screen, but things just didn't work out where I could. But it's definitely still one of my favorite movie experiences from 2023, so it's number 7. And number 6 is Oppenheimer. Now, I'm not even really a big fan of Oppenheimer person. I don't know too much about him except for what is said in this movie, but this is one of Christopher Nolan's absolute best movies and everything. It's a really good character study and really good drama and everything. It's got really great performances from Cillian Murphy, who's just absolutely perfect as Oppenheimer. And Robert Downey Jr. is really great in here too. Matt Damon, Florence Pugh is great. Emily Blunt's great. Just really great cast all together and everything. And it's just a really good story, and it should be something that wouldn't really entertain me. I'm not really interested in science stuff like that and everything. I'm just not a big into stuff like that. But like science history and the history of making of bombs and stuff. That just didn't sound like something that would be interesting to me. But Christopher Nolan made it work, and it's one of the best movies of that year for sure. So Oppenheimer is number 6, and number 5 is You Were So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah. This movie, oh man, I absolutely love this movie. It is a blast from start to finish. I think it's Sadie Sandler that plays the main character in this movie instead of Adam Sandler. He's more of a side character and everything. Both of his daughters are in the forefront of this movie and everything, and it's his best reviewed movie of his career and everything. It took him being in a movie with his daughters to get that good of a critic rating on a comedy, but this is actually a really, really good movie. I don't know if I'd say it's one of his best movies ever, but it's at least one of the best movies he's been in this decade, and probably the best comedy he's done in a long time. I'd say it's probably his best comedy since, for me, since That's My Boy. I know a lot of people didn't like that movie, but I love That's My Boy. But I've really enjoyed this movie. It's got a lot of heart, and the humor is really good, and everything. It's just really, really fun movie. It kind of has a maturity to it that a lot of Adam Sandler's comedies don't have, and that's something I like about it and everything. I think it's a really great movie. So it's number 5, and number 4 is Beau is Afraid. I absolutely love this movie. I feel like it is one of the most underrated movies that has came out in recent years. It's such a good movie, and I don't know anybody else that really liked it and everything. And I can definitely get it. It is a very weird movie and everything. Is one of those movies that if you have anxiety, it can trigger your anxiety because it makes you feel Beau's anxiety throughout the movie. But that's part of what I like about it, is it's one of those movies that gets down the feeling of anxiety perfectly and everything. And I think what Ari Aster was trying to go just translated really well for me on screen. And I really love Joaquin Phoenix's performance, and there's some other great performances in there, including Nathan Lane, who is a really underrated actor and everything. But I love Beau is Afraid. I think it's a very underrated and underappreciated movie and everything. I'll talk more about that one sometime when I review it, because I haven't reviewed that one yet on my channel, but I'll try to get that done here before too long. So Beau is Afraid is number 4, and number 3 is Barbie. I absolutely love Barbie. I've been a fan of the Barbie character ever since I was a little kid and everything, and I just absolutely love this movie. It is a blast from start to finish. There's so many awesome references to the history of the Barbie dolls and everything. It does have a lot of political messages too, social commentary and stuff, but this is one of those rare movies that does all that, and it doesn't really bother me or faze me and everything, because Barbie is a feminist icon character, so making a movie where she's a feminist icon does not surprise me at all whatsoever. So I like what they did with it. I think it's a really funny movie. Greta Gerwig's writing and directing is great. The sets and stuff look awesome. The performances from Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are great. The music in here is great. I love the songs on the soundtrack, especially the I'm Just Kidding song. But this movie is just really, really a great time and everything. So Barbie is number 3. And number 2 is Strays. Now this is a movie that I know a lot of people didn't like because they felt like it was just too raunchy and stuff, but that's part of what I love about it. I love me a good raunchy comedy and everything that has a lot of heart, and this movie is raunchy as heck, but it does have a ton of heart because it's about this cute little dog that is wanting to get revenge on his abusive owner. You want to see him get revenge, and when the time comes at the end of the movie, it is one of the most satisfying endings to a comedy movie in recent years. And I also feel like this is one of the best comedy movies in a very long time. It was the most I've laughed at a movie in the theater in years and everything. And I walked out completely satisfied with this movie. As a fan of Will Ferrell, as a fan of raunchy comedies, as a fan of dog movies, it just satisfied me in every way that it needed to. And I just absolutely love this movie. It's almost number 1. Like this one of my number 1 spot are pretty thin close. Same with Barbie at number 3. Like all 3 of my top 3 are fairly thinly close with each other. Everything. But my number 1 movie of 2023 is Leo. Now, 2023 was a big year for me as an Adam Sandler fan. I've been a huge fan of him since I was 8 years old and everything. And 2023 was the year that not only did this amazing animated movie come out, and you were so invited to Bar Mitzvah came out. That movie was great too. And Murder Mystery 2 came out that year as well, which was a really good sequel to Murder Mystery. But that was also the year I got to see Adam Sandler in person, so I had a big Adam Sandler year that year, and towards the end of it and everything, I went through a whole new Adam Sandler phase and everything, which I go through them every few years, it seems like, and everything. But Leo is just an absolute blast from start to finish. There were so many great jokes, and I think that this is probably the first animated family comedy since Shrek that had me dying laughing because the jokes were so good for both adults and kids and everything. This is one of the best animated movies since Shrek, like as far as the comedy goes and everything. It's just a really, really funny movie, but it's got a ton of heart and everything. Some catchy musical numbers, really good animation and everything. It has some goofy animation too. The kids, the little kids in this movie, they look so goofy, but it's just a really great time and everything. So Leo is easily my favorite movie of 2023 and everything. Like I said, it was a very close call between my top 3, but it easily takes the cake for me and everything. And I also will go as far to say, out of the handful of Netflix movies I've seen, which have mostly been Adam Sandler movies, I'll say this is easily my favorite movie I've seen that's been a Netflix movie. But anyway, let me know in the comments what your favorite movies of 2023 are, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.